back to the issue of land. Last year, the Supreme Court of Appeal upheld the landmark decision by the Land Claims Court to award a large portion of land, including the Fish River Sun Resort, to the Prudhoe Community. The Eastern Cape community was awarded restitution of land following a 20-year dispute. Now, for more on this, I am joined by Mazwi Mkhulisi, who's the Programs Manager of the Vumelana Advisory Fund. Mazwi, welcome, and thank you so much for your time. Now, it's taken more than 20 years for the farms to be transferred back into the hands of the Prudhoe community after a series of delays, including a protracted court battle. We know that land reform has proven to be a lengthy process for many communities. What would you say stands out in this particular case that finally had the Prudhoe community see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Good afternoon, Katleho, and good afternoon to the viewers at home. Katleho, land reform is meant to be one of the instruments to realize justice and equity in the country where we know the history of land dispossession. So what really stands out in the case of Prudhoe is, I think it's a case that shows the difficulties in terms of the state capacity, which can really delay justice. But at the same time, it's also a sign of resilience. I think more than anything, the Prudhoe Community Trust has really shown itself in showing resilience to be able to find allies to assist it through, as we have said, quite a protracted process where there were instances of incorrect decisions made by the states which had to be challenged through the courts. I mean, it really takes good leadership on the part of the community, but it's also a case of cross-sectoral collaboration, because the work that was done by the Legal Resource Center to support the community since 2010, that's yet another indication of committed partnerships.
Now, your work as the Vumelana Advisory Fund is to ensure viable economic activity once the community has been granted the land back. As an institution, how far do you think we could have been as a country economically had there been pace in awarding back the land to rightful owners? So in other words, are we seeing investors eagerly waiting to invest but are held back by this process?
Yes, Katleho, the land reform challenge is twofold. On the one side, especially when one looks at restitution, it's a very slow process to get the land back to its rightful owners. That itself has been a very slow process. The case of Prudhoe being a case in point, more than 20 years wait. But then land restoration only marks one aspect of land reform, the land transfer process. What then happens after the land has been restored highlights yet another challenge in the sense that the communities that own land, once they have land transferred to them, they may not have the means to be able to put that land to productive use. Now, what stands to happen there is a further indication of a sense of injustice, in the sense of having an asset, but having this asset not being able to yield any dividends or any income for you and the beneficiaries. So these are two elements that frustrate the land reform program. Now, in our work as Vumelana, we provide support to those communities that already have land transferred to them to make sure that they are introduced to private partners who have got the capital under well-structured agreements, so that the land that has been restored can be put to productive use, create jobs, transfer skills, as well as stimulate other supporting local economic activities.
I mean, we've seen that the Land Summit has just been wrapped up right now by the Deputy President. Do you feel that summits such as these do give a positive contribution, especially in the process, in ensuring that those communities are then given the resources in order for them not to sit with land that is not productive?
Indeed, Katleho. So it's twofold again here. You find that summits such as this one can be quite instrumental in showcasing the work that the social partners are able to do out of their own initiatives. I think there are cases here that one can refer to in the agri space, where you find large-scale agricultural operators who have created their own initiatives to involve neighboring farmers and to partner with new landowners in the land reform program. Those are telling initiatives out of which lessons could be drawn for escalation. Similarly, you find also in the sectors such as mining that there are large-scale players there who have stepped in to try and make a contribution, because here's the risk here. The longer we as a country continue to delay in realizing the task of land reform, the longer the view and the vision that the sense of injustice continues. And these are the things that do not augur well for us as a country in terms of our project for unity, in terms of the real matters of local economic development that you require to generate jobs and create businesses. We need this to be able to realize progress as South Africa.
We certainly do. Unfortunately, we have run out of time there. But thank you so much for your contributions, Mr. Mkhulisi. That is Mazwi Mkhulisi, who is the Programs Manager of the Vumelana Advisory Fund, giving us an update about the Prudhoe Community. And after a 20-year fight, have now secured 500 million rands of investment for that land.